Then let me share my screen. But yeah, let's start with the fundamentals like we normally do. So first things first, fear and greed index, we are at a 13. So we dropped around 5 points from yesterday. And do let me know if you can see my screen. Because right now it's raining over here. So my Wi-Fi could be a little bit spotty. But hopefully by not turning on my camera, bandwidth is saved. But yeah, looking at this, fear and greed index 13, 5 point drop from yesterday. Looking at our liquidation map, right, and we refresh, we can see that there are more longs to the downside now. So again, there is that incentive to go down. So yesterday there was an incentive to head up, and we momentarily went to the upside. But now it looks like we do want to come back down to get rid of these clusters. Let's go to the 7-day. I do think there'll still be more shorts than longs, and that's correct. But we have these massive clusters to the downside. Then as we go down to or rather go up to, say, the 90-day, we can see that, again, more shorts, but lots of clusters to the downside. So there is that incentive to head to the downside. Now, if we go down to, or rather go up to, say, the 1 year, of course, more shorts, but there's still quite a bit of liquidity to the downside. We have about 1.38 billion. So again, incentive is to go to the downside. Again, our RSI heat map on the 4-hour. Our average RSI is at 43.42. Aave is an overbought, right? We have like Dixie over here, overbought as well. Some of our, how do I say this? Our normal players who are in the overbought region, such as Aloe, isn't here anymore. So let's have a look at the 24-hour. We can see that on the 1 day, Doge is sort of in the oversold zone alongside the likes of oil, right? DOT is over here, gold and ADA and silver are also in the oversold region. And on the 1 week, we are coming back up. Lab and Aloe still in the overbought region. So I do think we can still have a look at them, right? Hype has since fallen. And so it'll be quite interesting to see what coins we can potentially trade today. Good morning, Gur. Unfortunately, I didn't wake up for the hacker stream. So, yeah, I didn't wake up. That kind of sucked. I don't know. I had a very long sleep. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shoot, I was about to say like the Taylor Swift line, right? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22, so hooray. Oh, no audio for you. Let me see. It says I'm okay. Can you hear me? Hear me or not? Question mark. Hello? Hello? Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay. If you still can't hear me, I know you left, but if you still can't hear me, then it's a me problem. Hear me, then it's a me problem, and I'll reconnect. Connect. How about now? Can you hear me? Question mark. Oh, damn. Okay. So it's a me problem. All right. Give me 1 sec, guys. How about now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Oh, Ivy, I'm so sorry. I've been speaking for like the past 5 minutes. I am so sorry. That is my fault. But yeah, we can run over it again. Oh, with hangover voice. Yeah, I'm good. Couldn't wake up for the hackers stream, unfortunately. The 1 hour nap turned into a little bit longer than an hour, or much longer than an hour. I will say it is nice to be 22. Don't feel any different from 21, but I am 22 now. So I guess that I'm well above the threshold for drinking anywhere in the world, but yeah, Anyways, fear and greed index 13, 5 point drop from yesterday. We do have more liquidations to the downside on the 1 day, but of course the trend is still imbalanced to the upside. I do think that we still head down because if you look at the 1 year, there's still about 1.36 billion. The last time we had a major move to the upside, the liquidity on the downside was at like 17 million. So the fact there's still a lot, I do think we still head down. Looking at the RSI heat map, we can look at Lab Allo, right? Because those guys are in the overbought as well as hype, which is strong. And if we look at, say, the 24 hour, things are in neutral, right? Closer to neutral, or rather closer to weak, but in neutral. We have the likes of Doge, oil, ADA, silver, and gold to have a look at today. Looking at the liquidation heat map, we do have liquidity down at 60,702. If we head to the 1 week, we have liquidity resting at 63,000, but I do think we're going to get bullish butt cheeks based on how our structure is looking. And on the 1 month, right? Let me pull this up. 1 month liquidity at 67,000. There is a hotspot 69, and of course 6 month, which is our long-term hotspot, right? If it loads, the major hotspot only happens to be at around 93,000. So let's have a look at some news. Given that the fundamentals are pointing us to look for shorts up until we get to a lower region for potential longs. First things first, oil drops at pre-war levels as Hormuz shipping resumes. So oil has dropped, which is interesting. And we can see here that maritime evacuation underway. So, blah, 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 blah. So IMO identified two temporary sea lanes, a northern route close to the Iranian coastline and a southern route through Omani and Emirati waters, and instructed shipmasters to wait for assigned transit groups. So it does look like things are going to try and get back to normal, pre-war levels, of course. But there is some conflicting news as, let's start with this one. As Rubio says, U.S.-Iran talks to resume in Switzerland June 29. So right now, this is a product, of course, of your ceasefire and the strait being opened, while this could potentially have some effect on the strait being closed yet again. Hey NYSE, welcome. So Marco Rubio announced Wednesday that technical level negotiations between Washington and Tehran are expected to resume in Switzerland at the end of the month as both sides work to convert a fragile ceasefire framework into a comprehensive agreement. So the progress and disputes, let's go over here. However, let's be, how's fair? Let's look at the positive, which is mediators from Pakistan and Qatar described as constructive and positive, with a high-level committee being formed to oversee political aspects of the mediation and working groups on nuclear issues, sanctions, and conflict resolutions. However, disputes have already surfaced. The two sides have offered different accounts on what the framework agreement entails, and the impact on Israel's parallel conflict in Lebanon is, that's a problem. And Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif confirmed that the preliminary agreement makes no mention of ballistic missiles, saying there could not be double standards on which countries may possess them. So, interesting, June 29, so 4 days from now, so that's like what, Monday? Yeah, Monday, could see a pump in oil and a dump in crypto, which could be interesting. Good morning, good morning. Now, if we go here, the Bank of America drops their Bank of England rate hike forecast, citing easing inflation. So they abandoned its forecast for the Bank of England to raise interest rates this year, citing lower energy prices and weakening inflation outlook in a move described as a close call. So the Wall Street previously anticipated 2 rate hikes by the Bank of England in 2026. It now expects the central bank to hold rates at 3.75% for the remainder of the year, with a single 25 basis point cut penciled in November 2027. So given that rates are for the Bank of England is going to be held, how does that affect sort of crypto and whatnot? Well, for one, the Bank of England, of course, is another major bank, right? For it to hold rates does mean that they could be trying to just ease inflation, which is what's happening over here. And generally, that means having a nothing burger for essentially everything, right? Now, a single 25 basis point cut penciled for November 2027 could spark something bullish. And as you guys know, typically speaking, after the post-halving year, Bitcoin and a lot of our cryptos bottom out around October. So this could be an interesting move for crypto. Now, the BOFA's dovish shift on the BOE stands in contrast to its hawkish turn on the US Federal Reserve. Earlier this week, the same research team forecast 3/4 point Fed rate hikes. Yeah, this is the problem. Okay. So if it thinks that, then U.S. Federal Reserve, in the context of financial markets, is more important than the Bank of England. So if it thinks that you would have increases, right, or rate hikes, then that is pretty bearish for the rest of cryptocurrency. And the fact that it thinks that it could do this going into even December, while October's our bottom, I don't know, we could have an extended winter, right? The divergence underscores how the Iran peace deal impacts energy costs and is filtering unevenly through global economies. While U.S. inflation remains, in BOFA's words, unambiguously worse due to tariff effects, the UK outlook has softened as falling oil prices take pressure off households. So, could be interesting, right? It does tell us that there could be more room for Bitcoin to go down. It's only June. Well, we're moving into July, right? But that's still 3 months. It's a quarter of a year. So we could see a bigger move to the downside until then. So that about does it for the fundamentals. Let me stop sharing my screen and let's move into the technicals, because that is the fun part. And as I said that, right, USDT dominance actually rose as we were speaking. So yesterday, I did say we were going to get some sort of move back up to this region, which we did. And we rejected quite strongly off that point. Let me just go back on it. Come on. Now, given that we left such a huge wick and we weren't overbought, there's still a lot of room to extend on the CPO Plus. It does tell me, again, that we could go higher. The fact that we had these bullish butt cheeks, trend line technically on a retest, does tell me we could even move further back up to this extension at around 9.635%. It's definitely in the cards. Now, if we zoom out and say go to the 1 day, this could be bad in the sense that this could be a double top forming here on USDT dominance. Right? This could be a double top if it closes in that way. But again, what is more prominent here is that bullish butt cheek. Right? Not the bearish butt cheek that could potentially form. The bullish butt cheek is what's playing out right now. And if we look at the daily, right, there is still a lot of room for this guy to extend. The 12-hour is starting to show weakness on the Delta Pulse Wave, but the 1 day is still showing a lot of strength. So that does tell me you could have a tiny pump, right? But overall, you are looking for some kind of dump. Now, we can see that this point right here, 9.591, is the 618 extension for USDT dominance. So if we just mark that and then go back to the 12-hour, all right, go back to the 12-hour, this region right here should be significant. It should be the final extension. Let's just see if that is the case. And look at that, the final extension. So I do think 9.6% is where we're going to stop, which means set alerts for when we tap that, because that is when we want to go long. Now, going to our AVAX trade, it's doing pretty well right now. It did hit it a little later, but we are seemingly going to break out of the parallel channel soon, right? You can see that on the 4-hour, it's still a perfect parallel channel, and we were able to enter that very well. Minimal drawdown. Once we break down from here, we need a close below 5.981%, and that to me will secure our move further to the downside, right? Now, Looking at oil and how it's doing, it is starting to show some strength again. So I do suspect oil is going to rise again in a sec. So this is the 4 hour. We're getting bullish divs. We're getting some strength on the Delta Pulse Wave. Let's see where we are. And we should probably look at Bitcoin while we're at it. I do think oil might still go down, so let's just leave oil to its devices. Let's go to Bitcoin on the weekly. And you can see right here, this is our potential entry on the weekly, based on the weekly, on that break of structure. But it seems like it's starting to fail. So this one right over here at around 66 was what we should have gone for. As we delete that, right, I do think a prominent long will be over here, given how things are going. So I do want to look for some sort of swing short we can hop in on for Bitcoin. Now this could be a dead cat bounce. We could go down to around 42,000 as the final sort of drop, but I do think this 50,000 mark will be the first thing, or this 53,000 mark will be the first thing we go for. So setting that stop loss right below that order block, right, and then this will probably bring us back to around this region. Let's put up some predictive ranges, but generally Bitcoin is still going down as it seems. So we are at the final extension, which does tell me we may want to go for over here, then tighten our stop loss. Right, we can even look at it on the daily perhaps, see where we can go. Let me just check the chat if there's anything. So support is at around 52,499. So I do want to go long around here. Right, let's see if there's predictive ranges we can take for a potential upside target. So I do want to go down there. Do stop loss right over here. 48, we can see that there's FVGs resting over here, so I do think we want to target those FVGs. So I do think this right here could be a well-placed potential long that we can take as USDT dominance still heads up, goes for this, right, and that we can take that long. 58, yeah, I think it could even go lower. I think it could go lower. Yeah, I think it can drop to maybe even 52. 58 definitely would be a first move for it, but I think we can go lower. But yeah, Guru, this is what I was saying. Like, it looked like bullish butt cheeks, but don't be fooled. It just completely disregarded those bullish cheeks. Ooh, this Tau trade is something we could have taken because it went back for it. Let's not talk about Solana. How's Drift doing? Oh, full take profit. So would have been nice if I had called it in my chat, but I did call it on Hackers. So yeah. Anyways, back to Bitcoin. I do think 52,000 is where this guy's going to go. It would make a lot of sense from a CPO Plus perspective, as well as your whale support, and it's also the weekly order block, right? So I do think we're going to 52,000. So what I want to do right now is, because this is a break of structure and we know it's headed down, the smart thing to do is to look for some kind of retest. So 59,421 is about the area we want to look at for a potential retest. So let's go down here. Let's zoom in to a lower time frame, perhaps a 30 minutes and 4 hour. So as we have this massive move to the downside, and happy birthday for me, as my birthday kills Bitcoin, I guess. Right? Oh, damn. I wonder what my birthday is gonna bring next year. Anyway, 62,000. Uh, thank you so much. Let's see here. What is this? So 60,251. Is there anything worth here? I mean, this FEG just completely killed that move to the downside, so I don't think we have anything useful there at the moment. I do want to see some kind of break here. Right, this is the break. We could potentially have a bounce at this region right here at around 58,000. This is a bullish order block. You can probably take a very small long if you want to risk it. Right, take a very small long, go for that. That in and of itself, we can maybe go for the top part of that equilibrium line. And then go here for that. Something like this. Makes a little bit of sense to me. Right, this is going to continue to the downside. We can scalp the long or the retest, but I think it would be safer if we were able to just follow the trend at this rate. So as we break to the downside, I want to see what we're able to do at 58,000. We can take that scalp long and then head back down from there. Let's go to the 12-hour. It's also a 12-hour order block, it seems. 12 hours nearing oversold, so we want to basically go long here. Very small scalp long, back up to around 59,000 to retest some of our levels or even the volume nodes, right? And then wait for a break to the down and then short from there again. So somewhere around this region would be a pretty decent short. So AVAX trade doing pretty well so far. Let's do something like this. Stop loss is well above that 618, which is pretty good, above that swing low. And of course, when we come back here, we're going to have some sort of, so this is the retracement. Look at that. So that's around that 618 right there. So perfect, right? And then when we come back here, we can pull out. Let's pull out a retracement. No, that's not what I meant. Let's do it from this point to this point. So we can shape this to be over that swing high, right? Extend this, move this to the side, extend this down, and the target is going to be 52,000 to this order block. This is the 4-hour. And let's double check how strong this order block is real quick. 8%, so it could even break below that one. But on the weekly, the order block starts at 52,939 with the equilibrium line. We can set that there, 52,256, and then the target will be at least back to the break of structure, which is going to be 60,000, and of course we can tighten this a little bit more to give us a better risk reward. Oh, let me check the message. Do you believe I should wait for a retest before entering? Let's have a look at SYK. Yeah, I think it'll probably come back to retest based on how it looks. So you can see right there, you left a big wick on the previous candle, so you're gonna come back, or you're gonna get above it, and then it's gonna probably come back in the next 2 or 3 candles. Do check your predictive ranges if there's anything stopping you though. That does look like a triple cheek structure. It's a little triple cheek esque for sure. So is interesting, right? That it is breaking out. So wait for that retest. Yeah. Anyways, back to Bitcoin. So we're approaching. Let's zoom in. Right, Bitcoin's at 58. Lots of people are getting liquidated right now. I'd prepare to maybe go long. This is the 12 hour, so we're bound to the 4 hour. Let's go down to a lower time frame, say 15 minutes. 4 hour and 12 hour order block. Could go for a potential long here. This is now the point of control. 15 minutes oversold. All right, take care, Ivy. Thanks for dropping by. So Bitcoin looks like it might fail this one. Hey, Hemdroid. Good morning. Thanks for dropping by. Big bottoming bar here. So I'm not hopping in just yet. Just want to see where this could stop, right? I want to see a bigger reaction here. We're not having that reaction yet, but we are on a 4 hour order block. Let's see if we can defend this level, or if we're going to break straight down to 52. Breaking straight down is fine for me as well. Okay, massively oversold. We're getting a reversal signal. I think I'm going to do a very small scalp long. Yeah, I think I'm going to do scalp long here. Oh, and a Bitcoin short. I think I'll do a scalp long. So I'm gonna go like here maybe. Very tight. I think this is gonna whipsaw back. Let's just see how this plays out. How's AVAX doing? So AVAX did get that change of character on the 3 minutes. It's oversold though. Actually, Hemdroid, were you able to get in the AVAX for, or did you cancel? I see. Let me just double check if we hit the first TP. Oh, I see. Nice. Nice. That is that Runaire's XRP short? Or yours? Actually, speaking of which, let's have a look at Allo. I know we've been looking at quite a few coins. Let's have a look at Allo, see how it's doing. And Allo USDT.p. Okay. Where is it? Is there on Blowfin? I guess it's not on Blowfin. Alright, let's just go to this Binance. I see. And let's go ahead. 4 hour? 4 hour Allo? I don't even know what I'm looking at. That's rough. Oh man, that's an alert here. Yeah, that's right here. Let's also set an alert here. I do think you can bounce perhaps from over this region. I'm guessing Bitcoin's pushing higher. Yeah. And if not Netflix, it'll be. Let's have a look at Netflix. Yeah, look at that. I told you, Gerd. The NTPL is still going down. Netflix. How is our boy Netflix doing? Um, yeah, honestly, like this right here would have been Earth, and this is right to the moon. You know, it is. It is trying. Right, it is trying. It's pushing up. It started lower than where it was though yesterday. It did get that bullish div peak seeker, but you can see the CPO plus is still below the zero line. I will give it credit, right? I'll give credit where credit is due. You are currently uh, getting some strength on the 1 hour. 12 hours still against you though. So I do think now would or this resistance right here would probably be the time to short Netflix. Like if you could short Netflix, short Netflix. Ooh, Bitcoin pushing back up. Sucks, man. We were just saying that this could have been a great long, and it hit that 4 hour order block, got that reaction. Damn, that sucks. Hold on, I'm gonna de-gear a little bit. I brought a little too much to my party. I'm at TP 74.5 on Netflix. Oh, you're already long on Netflix? Interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, at 73. I do recall that. Yeah. Oh yeah, then you can probably get out from there. Okay, not bad. Yeah. Hey, GS Aussie, welcome to the show. Good evening, or I guess it's morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Let's see how Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's pushing back up. It did hit a predictive fib. Our AVAX trade is pushing back up. Let's see if we can keep this momentum to the downside, right? It's having a massive reaction here. It was great. It was great. Got to hang out with my best friend and my girl and the rest of my family. We actually watched Supergirl today. Uh, so I don't know if you guys have seen the film. Uh, I guess for me, it was rather short. Like compared to the runtime of Superman, Supergirl was a little short. I also think it's maybe not as well thought out or well designed as Superman, but it was a fun flick, a very fun flick. I definitely enjoyed watching. Uh, Acting was okay too. I do wish they expanded a little bit more on some character elements, but I definitely think that if you're a DC fan or you've got like kids, it's a decent watch for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. To be fair, I did we did technically watch the movie for free, because at least the shopping mall culture here in the Philippines is rather strong. So there's this mall where we have like membership for basically spending there, like spending everything there. So we get like 8 free VIP tickets every month and 8 free premiere and regular tickets every month. So we took 3 of those VIP tickets and we watched it. Uh, but I think it's worth your money. Like if I had to say, it's worth your money. Now, if you're looking for something that's like deep and uh, maybe something that tickles your brain, makes you reflect after the film, this is probably not it, right? But if you're in it for it's so James Gunn though. Like it's such a James Gunn coded film. Uh, you'll just know it if you see it. It's such a James Gunn film. So if you're not into that sort of direction, maybe not the film to watch. And if you didn't enjoy Superman, that you won't enjoy this. But if you did, I think it would be pretty good. It did change a little bit of the lore because I am a comic fan, a DC Comics fan, so it did change a little bit of the lore. Is it a good change? I'd say it's okay. Kind of makes sense. Kind of doesn't. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil. Really interesting. Not even like uh Christian Bale, like Christian Bale's Batman, like the Dark Knight. Really? Damn. Okay. You should probably watch NYS. It's pretty good. Uh, what DC films are actually good to watch? Is would I put Robert Pattinson's Batman there? Yeah, Robert Pattinson's Batman, Dark Knight Returns. I really like Henry Cavill's Superman. I just don't like his films. I think it's a terrible script. Uh, but you know what? Superman's actually a decent film too. I enjoyed Superman. I see. The animated films are really good. If you're a comic book fan, the animated films will get you. But yeah. All right, back to trading. I think the train for this Bitcoin long has left the building. So unfortunately, I'm gonna cancel the long. It is one of those things, right? But I now think the short is still gonna happen. So I'm gonna look forward to shorting this guy. I do think again over here would be a decent place to short. It could even do a bearish butt cheek thing, right? If this closes on the 4 hour over here at 59, I'd expect a bearish butt cheek to happen. In which case, we can probably short back at around 61,000. So I'm going to mark that. Or I could even wick to that order block. So two potential re-entries for shorts that I'm seeing is something like this. So something like this. And then I do think we can probably short this guy down to 53,000. So let's just see how it goes. I'll set an alert for the FEG as well as up here. But I do want to look for the short. Based here on the 15 minutes, I think we get the higher one, right? So we might get a bearish butt cheek scenario here. Yeah, but okay, sorry. I'm a huge fan, right? But NYSE, if you've got the time, watch Christian Bale's Batman, Dark Knight Returns. I guess you can probably skip the third film. Probably not as good. But yeah. And then yeah, just skip Justice League. It wasn't that great, unfortunately. Lots of controversies for the actors too. All right, let's have a look at gold. I realize we haven't even checked gold out. So gold did find support here at 3,968. This is the 4 hour. This is the 1 day. We did get a bullish diamond shift. We are getting strength here on the 4 hour. The 1 day is seemingly going down still. So I don't know if this is it. I think this could be some sort of bounce up until we get a confirmation, right? This could be bullish butt cheeks in the making, right? Or this could be a potential dead cat bounce in the making. Really, I have no clue what kind of structure we're making here on gold. So I think it's a wait and see sort of deal. So silver right here, we said potential bullish butt cheeks. Clearly that's failed, but we have gotten some kind of support. And here on the 1 week, we're actually nearing oversold. So we do have this predictive range right here, and we were mapping this line out as well. So I do think we could go long on silver really soon. I'm very curious to see if we can do that because it does look pretty good. Right, we can even tighten the stop loss over here as the 200-week moving average is increasing. Right, so yeah, I think going long in silver is definitely a possibility that we can do in the coming weeks. Right, oil is pushing to the upside. It is overbought here on the 30 minutes. 4 hour is about to approach an FVG, so curious to see how it reacts at this point. Right, maybe we can get pushes back to the upside from here. AD is now where the dynamic reactor is resting. AVAX still trying to hold. Bitcoin still trying to hold. But yeah, definitely we can't do the long trade on Bitcoin. So I think we should look for that short. Alright, let's see how this goes. By the way, if you guys are looking at anything else right now, let me know. I mean, we got plenty of time, so that could be very interesting. M and Q, of course. Let's have a look at M and Q. M and Q. Okay, let's reset this. Yeah. I mean, M and Q looks pretty bearish now. If you were able to continue to the upside here, I would have said it. There's still a chance, but I mean, 1 hour bearish cross, so it isn't a bearish trend already. 12 hour, you are below the zero line, successfully gotten below. You are gaining some sort of strength, but with price action, if you close even like this, especially below 29,765, I think that's a bearish continuation waiting to happen. So closing like this would be pretty bad, or rather it would be bearish, not bad necessarily. Pulling out the market dynamics, we do see the fib is around 25.94, so you can have maybe a retest of that fib. And this area here happens to be really close to this bearish order block here on the 1 hour. So when you are oversold here, I suspect you go back to that order block, and then you'll probably have some sort of bearish reaction. So from here, I would look for some kind of short here on MNQ, place my stop loss above that point of interest on the 1 hour, right? It is also the 12-hour order block, so you can hypothetically place it up there depending on whether you want to scalp or swing this. And then your target will be this 618 over here, which gives you a nice 1 to 2. You can also lower it, right, to increase your risk to reward, but I would target 28,749. There is also a lot of liquidity just chilling down here for sure, right? So you can probably target the bot, literally just that area or the dynamic reactor from there. This thing will correct massively, right? Zooming out, this right here looks like bearish butt cheeks, and I'm sure on the 1 week it probably does. All right, take care, Gur. Oh, Gur already left. Yeah, look at that. So you're finally getting that weakness on the 1 week. And maybe not the 1 week, maybe the 2 day. It's going to look like bearish butt cheeks. Let's look at how it looks like. Bearish div. Yeah, look at that. It does look like bearish butt cheeks. You got your first cheek, second cheek. Goal is 28 to that FVG, so I will lower that accordingly. And I think you should be good from there. The 200-day moving average is at 26,000, so it could even go as low as 26.4 when the 200-day moving average catches up. All right, let's have a look at RGTI. Rigetti Computing. 2-minute time frame. Okay. Forming solid bullish butt cheeks, now it's forming bearish. Okay. 2 minutes a little bit too volatile for me. I mean, you do have multiple bullish divs here on the 5 minute, but I do think you're still in a downtrend. It comes down to this candle for sure. Look at it on the 5 minute, right? I know you're looking at the 2 minutes, but look at it on the 5 minute. If you close, I'd say even like 19.15. Or if you can close above that, that's pretty bullish. If you reject and you close it by like 18.99, probably short that thing. Yeah, that's probably how I'd go. That's great. that's really cool. I've never tried that. Let me go to the 2 minute. So you trade the quantum. Okay, interesting. In that case, I do think there's a chance you head up here, but again, close above this, that's still bullish. Close below that, that's bearish. I would short it. Now let's go back to AVAX, see how it's doing. Bitcoin, how's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin's still trying to get back up. We do have our alerts set, and we still have about 33 minutes on the show, so if anyone has questions or things they're looking at, let me know. Hmm. Yeah. So I do think this could continue pushing up, but I am looking at that 61K target right over here. Let's see here. Let's just look on the 5 minutes. I could probably lower it, right? It could probably stop, but this right here is that high volume node. I do think it could fool quite a few people if it can get back here. But what I'm waiting for genuinely is that close. Even a close right here could lead to a spike back here and then down. Looking at USDT dominance, right? I think because our target is over here, this is the goalpost. So we could have some moves to the downside first. But, oh, I don't know why that's... Oh, sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. But yeah, I think this could continue heading down. Right, so when it comes back down here, it'll probably reach 61,000. We get in, we short when it gets back here, then we go long from there. I think that's the play here. Yeah, AVAX 30-minute close. Based on that 30-minute, Bitcoin looking like it's going to struggle a bit, but it is bottomed out. You do have the reversal triangle. I still think it'll head up. Yeah. It's got 28 minutes on the show, so really just waiting it out a little bit. How is Hype doing? How's Hype doing? So Hype doing pretty okay for itself. Oh, this was 3 p.m. today. Oh, that would have been fantastic. Okay, what's Bitcoin doing? Okay, AVAX pushing up, Bitcoin pushing up. We might have it soon. Yeah. Okay. Could have something interesting here. Oh shoot, that might have been it. It might not go to 61. But well, let's see. I think there's still hope. Or so, yeah. Oh, don't nah. I wouldn't say you're an AVAX beggar though. There's a chance. I mean, this right here is a retest of the channel. Granted, I don't know if I want to enter here if I had to guess or try to get back in because it is oversold. So I do think it could push back up to maybe even the point of control. Bitcoin, on the other hand, that 618 looks enticing. Again, I do think Bitcoin could form bearish butt cheeks based on the 4-hour. AVAX here is on the 4-hour, and you can see it's a very different story than Bitcoin is on the 4-hour. So if I had to bet, Bitcoin makes bearish butt cheeks on the 4-hour, but either way, this right here was the extension on the 15-minute. This could be it. This could be the final thing. It's hard to tell, and I don't want to guess at the moment since we haven't really got confirmation. Oh, Kevin Lovejoy, welcome to the show. Who else has hopped in? Francisco, welcome, guys. Welcome. So, right now, right, the AVAX short is what's going. Bitcoin took that long. Well, wish we had taken that long. But right now, we could be having a bearish butt cheek scenario play out. Let's see if we can get something like that to play out. 4-hour, 15 minutes does look pretty optimistic for some kind of move back to the upside. But again, on that 1 day, 12-hour, and 1 week, we're still looking for that downside move. This is still, I think, it's not even I think, it's most likely going to happen in my mind, right? And then from this point, we'll probably bounce back up, test that break of structure, break down, and we'll probably go to this next node at around 43,000. DCA short could be a play, yeah. I don't know if I want to do that too. I kind of want to, but I don't know if I want to. Oh, damn. But it is tempting now that you mention it. Even I'm forgetting my own tools. Yeah. Oof. Temptation. Yeah. Although, being a 50x Lev person, I don't know if you can say don't degen. I'm pretty degen myself. Oh. I hope I'm not enabling that. Don't degen. Alright, as your friendly neighborhood analyst. Risk management. And I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. I don't know what to say. Let's have a look at it. If Aloe's not looking good, let's have a look at Lab, perhaps. Right, let's have a look at some potential coins we can still trade. Lab's still looking strong. Now, here on the 4-hour, we do have this potential extension here at 20. Right, Lab is probably the only thing defying the market at the moment. I do want to see what it looks like on the 12-hour if we've got data, but we don't really have much. Now, on the 12-hour, we are continuing to have some strength, and if we do your typical wick theory, right, and you want to basically try to get 70% of that wick. So it's at 29.5, so 70% of that is going to be around 20 point something, right? Right, let's have a look at where 20% could potentially be. I think this audited 20.21%, pretty close. Just want to put that there. So 22 seems to be where it wants to go. Now if I pull up the predictive ranges, could have something interesting up here. If not, then there's nothing. Doesn't seem like there's anything, so let's turn that off real quick. And let's just do our regular fib retracement. So we go from this swing high, and we go to this swing low. We can see that this is near that 1.618. So let me put a marker there, and let's basically delete this retracement. And let's go back down to the 4 hour, see where our fib retracements place us. So right above that final extension. So this region right here is where I would consider probably going short on lab. This region right here. You can see that on the CPO plus that will put you in the overbought or overextended section. So yeah, it could be interesting. So I'm going to put this here as an idea for now. My stop loss will be well above that initial candle. And then our take profit will probably be by that 4 hour or even lower order block. Right, as we basically come back down. Something like this I think would be pretty decent. We can lower this to have a better risk to reward, so that's fairly acceptable. Somewhere here as well, that mean could be nice. So I'll leave that as an idea. We'll probably place that there again, and then an idea is not an endorsement, so don't trade this. I'm not gonna risk as well, unlike AVAX, which I am risking. Right, I do have skin in the game for AVAX, Bitcoin. Actually, no skin in the game for Bitcoin yet, at least for this example right here. And yeah, I think lab could be interesting for sure. Part of me kind of wants to long this again, or long this. But let's leave lab for now. Let me just double check what kind of coins we have on the, let's say, yeah, the RSI heat map 24 hour. MU, Dixie, Aave. We can check out Aave. Right? Let's have a look at Aave, see what it's up to. Actually, Aave's, it's kind of defying the market right now. Oh, nice. Thank you. Let me just see if I can open the, okay, it brought me somewhere else. All right, let me, oh, is it a text file? I don't know if I can open it right now. I'll have to look later. And don't worry, you know, we're all here, and if you're open to sharing how profitable it is, then I think that's great for the community. But yeah, look at Aave, you know, bullish div here in the 15 minutes, bounce off the dynamic and quantum, could make bullish butt cheeks happen. I kind of don't want to go long on it because of that 4 hour, right? It's losing quite a bit of strength. Right over here, you're losing quite a bit of strength here. Right, you are also tilted down. So I think I'll let Aave rest for now, but I do want to see what it looks like on the 30 minutes. $30 looks pretty bearish. Honestly, could be a short for Aave. It is near that fluid zero line though on the MVP ribbon, so I kind of want to wait for that, see what happens. But yeah, no, this is big bearish, right? That is not something you want to see. How is AVAX doing? AVAX still on the short, big massive candle, so I do think we're going to continue on this. Bitcoin's still struggling a little bit, but if you leave such a wick like that, you might want to retest 70% of that, so you could still have a move to the upside potentially, like up to the extension. Yeah, RGT. Oh, man, that looks bearish now. I'd probably go short on Rigetti if I were you. What was it MISE? Yeah, probably go short on Rigetti now. Quick look again. It's been a while since we had a look at Zcash. I guess we can look at Zcash. Yeah, I go short on Rigetti. I think it's definitive at this point. Oh, hey Stig, welcome to the show. Thanks for dropping by. Oh, GS Aussie had to go. Not bad. I mean, it is really late wherever he's at. Well, I say wherever he's at, but his name literally says it. Anyways, looking at Zcash, 30 minutes oversold. Looks like this was a Bart Simpson bearish butt cheek thing. Trend is bearish here on the 4-hour, right? You are green, but it looks like you can go lower. So I think what I'm going to do is wait for some sort of strength to come back to the CPO plus and then short from there. You did hit that FVG. Right now, this is sort of the trend line you're on. So we need some kind of break of the trend line. Right? It is a lower trend line right here. Some kind of break would be fantastic. And of course, if we want to be more grounded here on the 4-hour, right? Yeah, that's not too bad. But yeah, no, this is going to continue to the downside. Zcash could potentially be a long down here by that 618, 362. I'm curious to see what it looks like on the 12-hour and 1 day. Oh, Voicey! It's been so long. Welcome. Little Fish, thank you for dropping by, you guys. Yeah, well, welcome back. Yeah, no, 12-hour looks bearish, although power bar is weakening, right? It's not showing a lot of bearish strength. Your delta pulse wave is still pretty red, so I think what I'll do is I'll leave an alert for around 356, see if this could be a long. You did get that bearish cross, so what could happen is you come down here, you go long, you stop at around 411, break back to the downside, go toward that order block. I think that could be the play for Zcash. Yeah, I think that's a very logical play for it. Good morning. Yeah, so we have about 11 minutes left on the show. So if anyone has any coins, actually, it doesn't even have to be coins. We can look at stocks and other assets. Just let me know. We can have a look, right? And if anyone has questions on indicators as well, we can go through them. Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah, let me just keep chat open. How is Tau doing? So Tau is actually, how is AVAX doing? Okay, still bearish. Tau, ooh, Tau could have a triple top or triple butt cheeks. Again, not possible, but you know, it is what we've been calling it every evening now. So that is something. Yeah, it could be interesting. I'll send an alert. 219, see if it goes back. USDT dominance is dropping a little bit, so I do suspect a return down to that 786 mark. If it does, that would be fairly interesting. Because again, I do think USDT dominance is going to try to get to that final extension at around 9.6%. So again, set alerts. Alerts are your friend. Let's look at Binance Coin. Oh, this is a long we posited quite a while ago. I guess it did play out. Yeah, but no, I think this will continue down. So we could potentially go short on Binance Coin as well. We do have a bearish order block here at around with a 20% and one touch. Sort of deal. Let's go down to the 4 hour. I'm going to delete this for now. Let's go to the 4 hour. The daily still has a lot of room to extend to the downside. So I suspect a move to the downside. Bearish move as well. Got a bullish div there. You could form bullish butt cheeks. Or sorry, bearish butt cheeks. So you can see here that is the top. We do have an order block there, so I think that is where we want to play for a potential short. Right? And then stop loss above. You can go for the median line. Something like this. Again, this would be a fantastic bearish butt cheek because that is a right lower cheek. Let's see our predictive ranges, see if there's any fibs down here that we can target. That is the 618, so the 786 is over here. We could be looking at a $500 Binance coin. Could be interesting. Stop loss right there. Decent risk to reward, I'd say. So yeah, I'll set alerts again. Could do a short on Binance coin. Again, I do still think that there is hope for a move to the upside, right? Bearish butt cheeks could form on the 4 hour of Bitcoin. Bearish butt cheeks could form as well here on the 4 hour of Binance. So a lot of the layer 1 tokens seem to be having this bearish butt cheek formation that could happen. And again, for those who are new, get used to the butt cheek lingo, because that is how we refer to tops and bottoms over here. So yeah. Oh, this session is recorded and I finally got to fix the audio. So back then the previous solution was to use OBS Studio, but what I've realized is it takes up a lot of space because of doing this. OBS is better suited for streaming, so it takes a lot of space. So I found a native app that can not only record better but more smoothly, and it also results in like 25% of the total space that an OBS Studio recording takes. So I think that is, well, of course, to our advantage, so you guys can have better quality recordings without, well, not only better quality recordings, but faster upload times, because typically having to compress the thing is just a horrendous task. So yeah. We have about 6 minutes left on the show, so again, if anyone has last minute questions, now is the time to let me know. I will be back here again tomorrow, right, at around 9:30 p.m. EST, but 9:30 a.m. EST, 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8. But yeah, I guess one thing we can have a look at is, what else is there? TRX, Tron. We can have a look at Tron. Let's have a look at Tron. TRX, USDT.P. That is not how you spell USDT.P. Probably faster to have just backspace and whatnot. Ooh, Tron. Tron's bearish. Okay. Confirmed change of character 2. Here on the 30 minutes. Bearish, bearish. Point of control. Tap on the point of interest. Okay, I'll set an alert. I do think I want to short Tron. And the short will go down to around 0.31. So I think that is something we can definitely take advantage of. So you could probably go up here, stop loss above, maybe the, was it the 4 hour? Oh, it's 12 hour. Damn, that's crazy. Maybe the 30-minute wave there, and then we can lower this, target that. Almost a 1 to 4 risk to reward. Let's have a look at a couple of the predictive ranges here on Tron. So again, I'm spitballing ideas here. You guys can decide whether or not to track them. 618 over here. I do think we come down here. There's a lot of liquidity just chilling right over here that we could probably take out by going down to this support. So we have about 4 minutes. What other coins do we want to look at? Gold. Yeah, you know, let's have a look at gold here. So gold again did find some kind of support at 3,968. It is still bearish on the daily, and it is still bearish on the weekly. So I do suspect it goes down to 3,761, right? Right before it goes oversold. Now, on the 4 hour, actually that was the 4 hour. So let's go back to the daily. 4 hour is getting some kind of bounce. I think we're gonna get a move back to around 4,000. Maybe even 4,100 before failure. Maybe even go for the FEG right here. And from there, we can probably short this thing down to around that $3,700 mark, even down to maybe 3,600. I think that would be very interesting. Let's see here. How is AVAX doing? So AVAX kind of fighting still. So if ever the AVAX could come back to around 6.28, 6.3, potentially. Same with Bitcoin is going to follow quite a similar path. It's probably going to come back down. Oh, wait, this is the wrong Bitcoin chart. Is it this one? So Bitcoin could potentially come back down to you, or come back up to 61,751, or potentially even to around this region right here. But I do want a move back to 7,651. I think that is really the play that we can have. So let me just minimize this so you don't have to think about that. So this area right here, which is the 4R618, that will also lead us most likely to that zero line on the CPO plus, right? Give some delta pulse, give the delta pulse wave some time to reset. So yeah, look, eyeing that $61,700 mark as a potential retest. Then Tron could also have that potential retest up to 0.3258. Could be interesting. And USDT dominance will probably go back down to that 786 fib, 9.1% before coming back up. So again, it's gonna look something like this. And then we can go long to wherever this is, and I do suspect it's gonna be at around 52,000 or something. Yeah, around 52,000. So there's about 2 minutes left on the show. So if anyone has questions, let me know. Alright, I think things are still looking fairly bearish. We're gonna have to wait. But yeah. Yeah, I agree. The next candle's gonna say a lot. I mean, you're leaving such big wicks, right? And you're about to close in 16 seconds. So if you don't close strong, if you're gonna close as if it's reversing, then this could probably be the short that we're looking for. At least for Bitcoin, you know, if we start reversing back, then I think that's it. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. It has been 1.5 hours. This could be a reversal right here. So again, I do think Bitcoin is going to go back down all the way to 52,000. 58,000 would be the first stop, but 52,000 would be the final destination. Keep watch on your USDT dominance. This thing is definitely going to fly to that final extension around 9.6%. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I keep an eye out. Definitely keep your eyes peeled today. Weekend is coming, so no volume. Gotta be careful out there. But yeah, thank you guys for joining me today, and I really do appreciate it. So with that being said, once again, I am Langstrom. Thank you for joining me, and don't forget to always use a stop loss. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. EST. Take care.